In the 90s, if you turned on the radio or went to the mall, chances are you heard Amy Grant. Today, she's here to celebrate the 30th anniversary of her 5-time platinum album, Heart in Motion. But before we welcome Amy, let's take a stroll, shall we, down memory lane and see what got her here. Oh, yeah. Oh, there she is.
Singing.
Amy Grant, I know every word to all of your songs. I love your music, and it's definitely the soundtrack of our lives in the 90s. What's it like looking back at that time, 30 years after Heart in Motion?
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, I was a different person. That was half my life ago. I just turned 60.
Wow. Girl, congrats. Good for you.
Yeah, and I just, first, I want to say how much I've enjoyed waiting to come on. I don't do a lot of screen time, and everything that you've talked to up till now, I'm so grateful that we all get to have our hands on our own wheel. We get to make choices because we've been informed, and so thank you for the good work you're doing.
Amy, and, thank you.
Yeah, it's really all of it. And I have had a lot of friends who either have close loved ones that have passed because of COVID.
Right.
Not immediate, but I had open heart surgery in June.
Wow.
And that night, I know, ta-da, look, like I kind of have cleavage.
Look at
Whoa,
you. You're amazing. What a warrior you are.
But that night, the head of the emergency room nurses came in. He was just the coolest guy named Gary Woodward. And COVID was just really starting to rev up in Nashville. And I asked him how many patients are in the hospital. And anyway, and he passed before the year was up from COVID. Oh. And such a glorious light. And so anyway, but what I'm doing, all these years later, is just using the platform that music has given me to do things that matter.
Amy?
And yeah.
Oh, sorry, Amy. I thought you were fit. I wanted to get into you. I appreciate all the good words and the goodwill. We're so happy to have you here. But I wanted to ask you, who's your favorite artist today? 6 Grammys. You have multi-platinum albums. Who's your go-to artist today?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to tell you, my up-and-coming artist that you have probably, she does not really have a solo record yet. Her name is Natalie Hemby.
Ooh.
She was in The Highwomen with Brandi Carlile, but Natalie's mom has been my assistant since 1986. I watched that girl grow up in my dressing rooms, and she is killer. She's killer, and has a record coming out that she did during COVID. But, you know, I mean, I love Kebmo, I love Bonnie Raitt, I love all the ones I grew up with that are now friends and acquaintances. Yeah, I just, I'm so glad that people that were making music all the time that I've been making music are still doing it. You know, Springsteen, James Taylor, Sheryl Crow, you know, and now we all are like, come on, keep going.
Make some good ones.
Well, you know, Miss Amy, your husband, Vince Gill, because we first started talking about having your hand on the wheel and having your own narrative. And he recently spoke about the perception that country music is really kind of viewed as for a conservative audience. So do you think that today's country artists have a responsibility to change that?
I think all through the history of country music, there have been people working to change that perception. And I think that there is a more, I'm really not even the right person to talk about this, but it's more the audience, because I just think most creative people understand that we are, every gift that we have is a gift, and it doesn't matter where you come from, your race, your socioeconomic level. And when you make things creatively together, you see the value of all people equally. And
Beautifully said.
You can't, yeah.
Beautifully said. And, you know, before we let you go, you mentioned your surgery. In honor of American Heart Month, we wanted to check in on you after that open heart surgery. What did you learn from that experience? And I just want to thank you personally for sharing Gary Woodward's story, because that places a name with a face.
Yes. Honestly, I learned the power of prayer because I felt like I had a Texas wind at my back the whole time. And it changed. My experience was I had thousands of people praying for me. It was not my time to die. It was my time to live. But sometimes I go in my backyard and I just go, have I ever prayed for my neighbors? And I'll just go, whatever's going on in that household, I'm surrounding them with love and compassion, whatever's going on. And really, my thing is, if I struggle with somebody and I can't wrap my head around praying for them, I keep going back in time till I picture them with baby teeth.
That's interesting.
You can always pray for somebody with baby teeth.
I love that. I'm going to adopt it, and I strongly believe in the power of prayer. Amy Grant, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you. We'll be right back.
Thank you.